So, what are we reacting to? We are reacting to why USA malls are dying, but Europe's aren't. American reacts. Oh, this is a guy that reacts to the video. Can I find the original video? Video credits.
This video is sponsored by Exter. Welcome to the 1990s, the former Eastern Bloc, a beautiful, wealthy, inspiring place left behind by the dying, retreating Russian Empire. Suppose you wanted to do some shopping. Where will you go? Oh, I know, those beautiful Soviet-era shopping centers seen by many on those Soviet
What?
retro-themed social media pages, full of the finest wares of the Eastern Bloc. Sorry, I couldn't keep a straight face there. No, if you wanted to do shopping, you did not in fact go to the shopping center. Instead, you went where the rest of society went, to dismal outdoor markets selling vegetables, knockoff clothing, homemade food.
Let me tell you, those outdoor markets are the best places to get your food from. This is a fact. Trust me, tomatoes that you get from outdoors markets like this are the best. The carrots, tomatoes, vegetables, lettuce, jams. You can buy jams, which are way, way better than what you find on the supermarket. That being said, I'm gonna let the video play because I'm rambling.
Food preserves and so on, from cars, vans, often entire buses. It was chaotic, dirty, loud, often taking place on random sidewalks or in underpasses. As you milled around the makeshift stands in the crowd, looking at the knickknacks being sold, people haggling, old women counting coins in their hands, you thought of a photo you saw of an American shopping center. You called it a shopping center because you did not have a word for it yet. That is, the mall. Beautiful, clean, air-conditioned, full of Western stores and their wares, fast food restaurants like McDonald's and others you've never even heard about, people strolling around wearing the latest fashion. Surely all of them are drinking Coca-Cola and Pepsi Cola too, not this piss water they sell around here. Palm trees, fountains, colorful lights. You're pretty sure there's American
See, we don't have palm trees, or what those trees are. I don't think I ever saw one in a mall in Europe.
rock music playing in the background too. You don't know, it was a photograph. Your thoughts are interrupted as you look down and realize you've stepped into shit, and an old lady is yelling at you to move from her stand if you ain't buying anything. The shopping mall was the ultimate symbol of 1990s Western prosperity, and it wasn't long before they spread through Europe too, including the former Eastern Bloc. Today, malls in places like Budapest, Prague, or Warsaw are basically indistinguishable from their modern American counterparts, except for one thing. Malls
This guy pronunciation, it's weird. He sounds, I don't know where he's from, but I don't hear much Americans pronouncing Budapest as Budapest. As not something you see in Americans.
in Europe are thriving, while in the US they are slowly dying out. Why is that? People often say it's because of Amazon and online commerce, but Europe has those too. Is it a purchasing power issue? But how? America is the richest country on the planet. Lots of full wallets over there, though sometimes those wallets need replacement and additional company. This is where Exter comes in with their compact, stylish, neat product. To get a scale the key using your credit cards up to 6 years old for you. Is online commerce. The fact that people are
I am not gonna let his ad play. I'm not. If you want to support the video, go check his video out. I'll put it in the description of this video. I'm gonna put his video. Go support, go like. Don't watch that. Well, actually watch that. I know if it's useful for you, buy that. I'm rambling again. Oh my god.
now able to order from the internet from the comfort of their homes. And sure, online commerce didn't exactly help malls, but as I mentioned, online commerce is also very much present in Europe, and malls over there are doing fine. So I'm comfortable stating that the decline of US malls is not because of online commerce, though it certainly didn't help. And so I've identified 3 actual key reasons which we will go through now, including the last one which no one talks about, but is absolutely crucial in my opinion. In fact, that might be the most important reason for the death of US malls.
He is rambling on more than I do. And that says a lot.
And yet, people seem to ignore it.
Dude, we're already almost halfway through the video and he has not said anything about the malls.
So, let's go through the reasons. Malls are only alive as long as they have customers who can afford to buy their stuff. And in the
True.
US, this isn't the case everywhere. Entire regions lost their well-paying jobs as industry went offshore. Looking at the central US today, those libertarians weren't joking. The free market really took care of those regions. As high-paying jobs left, so did many people. Those who stuck around were considerably poorer and often couldn't keep many of the malls alive. So did this happen in Europe? Well, not really. European economies are built differently, especially those in the EU. Yes, there is a competitive capitalist market, but with important quirks. To illustrate this, let me talk about trains for a moment. A couple of weeks ago, I went hiking to the Czech Republic. First, I took a train from Leipzig to Chemnitz, where I met my friend.
Okay, so he is from the Czech Republic or somewhere close. That's explaining a lot about why he pronounces words the way he's pronouncing it.
The next day, we took another train to Dresden. Both of these trains were operated by a company called Transdev. Then we went on to Liberec on a train operated by the company Die Länderbahn. Finally, from Liberec, we took a train operated by Arriva to Železný Brod. So private rail operators all the way. Or were they? Arriva is owned by Deutsche Bahn, the German state railway. Die Länderbahn is a Trenitalia subsidiary, which is the Italian state railway. And Transdev is majority owned by the French government. And these state-owned companies compete in free market tenders across the EU, where they try to offer the best price they can to local governments to provide rail service on a given line. Usually anyway. It's an interesting mixture of the private and the publicly owned. It's like a state capitalist free market. And it seems to be working pretty well. All this is to illustrate European economies work differently and aren't subject to the same
Okay. Notice how he is not talking about the trains. The malls, not the trains.
types of shocks the US economy is. With very few exceptions, European purchasing power has been rising across the board, even in Central and Eastern Europe, the poorer parts indicated by this chart. And this increase has been more geographically even compared to the US, so there aren't any continent-sized, newly appeared economic black holes like the Rust Belt, or such enormous, unaffordable urban areas like on the West Coast. Also, in Eastern Europe, major regional economic depressions happened before malls came about, so local malls dodged that bullet, but they did something else in Europe, or rather, they didn't do something, which Americans did.
Oversupply.
American malls are exotic in the sense that there are so many of them. Copious amounts of commercial space was built out in the form of enclosed malls, outdoor malls, power centers, life
Well, I don't think so. I think in my city we have a lot more malls than we. So basically, my city is built into 6 districts. In each district, I think there is one mall. So we have about 6. But if you are thinking about big malls like whatever he's showing on the video, I think we have 3 big malls. No, actually 4. Yeah, 4 because one is near the airport.
lifestyle centers and so on. Consequently, there is a lot more commercial space per capita than in Europe. A lot more. Like 10 times more than Germany, for example. And in German cities where there is an oversupply like Chemnitz, the city I recently talked about, you get the same mall deaths. But Chemnitz is an exception because those malls and shopping centers used to have a demand base. It's just that following the fall of the Berlin Wall, people started leaving for former West Germany and suddenly there was a commercial oversupply. But such a situation couldn't happen otherwise in Europe, as regulations that govern building new commercial space are far more stringent than in the US. Libertarians call this government red tape crippling the economy, while adults call it necessary regulations to avoid mass closures and urban decay. The large number of US malls also means they are of lower quality and more messy.
So basically, here in Europe, you have regulation that say you can have a maximum of this number of malls in a city, or buildings of the same type as malls in the city. I did not know that. That's actually something that I, a European, did not know.
Produced. Take a look at this one, the former Metro Center Mall in Phoenix, Arizona. Why is it falling apart like that? What material did they use? Cardboard? If any country builds that many malls,
think
it is
they-
inevitable that many of them will end up cheap and mass-produced, both inside and outside, both architecturally and in terms of what they offer. And the mass-produced, standardized, consumerist bullshit just isn't something people look for nowadays. Compare the Metro Center Mall to
Now, dude, you need to slow down a bit. I am telling you this. You need to slow the fuck down a bit. You are speaking way too fast. See, You are way too uncomfortable for me to stay in this position, so I'm placing you there. My headset support it's way too uncomfortable for my leg now, so I'm taking it off.
Say Palladium in the center of Prague. This is the facade of the mall. That's a real historical building into which they integrated the whole thing, and it continues on behind. It's a well-made building and the interior is also high quality. It's actually right across an old Soviet-era shopping center too, so that's a neat callback to the start of the video. But Palladium is a positive example in something else as well. The third reason why US malls are dying. Namely, this is the issue I barely hear anyone talk about when it comes to dying malls. Yes, purchasing power and oversupply are important, but where the mall is and what's around it is also just as important. Looking at Palladium, there's a
True.
tram stop right next to it, a metro station, and it's a corner away from Masarikovo, the commuter rail station.
What he is telling is true. I think every mall that I've been to is near a metro station. Everywhere in this city. So basically, access to malls um, it's much more available than in the States. So I think this is his point. You can basically have no car, no other mode of transportation besides the public transportation, and be able to reach a mall in 20-30 minutes tops if you are going at a mall further away from your location. So I think he's right about this.
Palladium is very easy and convenient to get to. So what, you might say? US malls have ample parking and they are easy to get to as well by car. Sure, but that's part of the problem. Car-centric US cities are more spread out, which means the mall will be further away from you. Now then, you want
Yes.
to buy an item. Say you want to find a birthday gift for your aunt or something. Do you then get in your car, drive down to the mall, get through a traffic jam, trudge across the parking lot, then look for a gift and then do the same process on the way back home? Or do you just go, fuck it, and order something from Amazon? With Palladium, even if I live on the outskirts, I can just go by metro and be there door to door in about half an hour. Once again, this is from
See?
the edge of the city. American malls are usually not built near any meaningful public transit. In fact, they are usually not built near any meaningful place. Compare these 4 European malls, 2 from Prague and 2 from Budapest, with these 4 American malls, from Phoenix, Las Vegas, Oklahoma City, and Orlando. The reason why Amazon and similar online commerce platforms cannot compete with the first group
Well, what he is not saying is the fact that every single one of those malls in Europe does indeed have a big ass parking lot right near them. It's not one of those spread parking lots like you see in the States. It's on levels. So you have the ground level, you have a level below the ground level, and then you have levels on top. So basically, you can squish a lot more cars in that parking space and parking spaces in that parking lot. That being said, you'll have also a lot more people coming because you have um, subway nearby, tram nearby, and basically Europe is much walkable. It's much more walkable than the United States. If you live 15 minutes from a mall, you can just basically walk there for 15 minutes. You have sidewalks on which you can walk, and you'll be there in 15 minutes. 5 by car or 10 minutes by car, which is not a big enough difference in time to justify me taking my car out of my parking space and driving to the mall. I should let him speak. He's making it much more. Um, he says it's better.
but can threaten the
Specifically.
second group is because malls in the first group are integrated into the city. The surrounding environment isn't just a parking lot. There are things to do and see, and you can end up in those malls even completely organically, as in unplanned, as part of you walking around downtown. With the second group, you have to make a conscious effort to go there. Nobody will trudge through a kilometer of parking lots on foot. The GPS won't take you there spontaneously. You have to make the decision at home to go there and then make the effort. Then companies like Amazon come along and say, hey buddy, we can save you all that effort. And so the malls are dying. Malls, hell, all commerce has to be an organic part of towns and cities. People should be able to get to them by means other than a car and conveniently. Such integrated commercial spaces are far more resilient. If your commercial spaces aren't resilient, if you just plop a big box outside the town, don't be surprised when it goes bust in a few years. And then it's bulldozed for the next thing to be put up, for it to go bust the same way and then get
I will say this. He's not saying it, but um, online shopping and Amazon and stuff like that are big in Europe. It's true that they are big in Europe, but they are not as big as they are in the US because we can just walk 15 minutes, grab whatever we need, and be home in the same day or literally the same hour. It does not make that much sense to order stuff. I mean, let's say this mic. Where is it? Where is the camera? Let's let's say I want to buy this mic, right? What an American would do, it's basically look on Amazon, look on every other site that you can buy stuff from when you are in the US, place an order and wait a few days for it to arrive, or maybe till tomorrow. Right now, if I want to buy this mic, I can walk 15 minutes, grab the mic, be back home, and have it set up and ready to go, ready to stream on the same day. It's not that much of a hassle to justify me going on Amazon.
bulldozed, and then the next thing, and the next, and the next, so on and so forth. And this is why many American malls are either dead or dying. In the end, it all comes down to policy, economic, and urban planning. If you're an American and want to do something about this, Strong Towns is just the organization for you, fighting for the exact things I've mentioned in this video, aiming to create living, resilient, human-centric places instead of the mass-produced car-centric retail deserts. So do check them out. And I thank everyone for watching, and as a reminder, you can use my link in the description to get up to 35% off extra product.
I think there are places in the US that have made an effort to make it more European like, to have sidewalks, to have parks, and malls all nearby. Not that many though. That being said, I think I'm done with this video, so if you're watching this on YouTube, like and subscribe. If you are live with me, stay ready, we are gonna react to another video.